Oh, thanks, Sean.
You're welcome. Hello and welcome to the Part-Time Gamers, the gaming podcast for people with full-time lives. I'm your host Cyranex, and I am joined by my good friends Bristle and 9 of 12. How you guys doing today?
Doing well. Doing good.
Doing great.
Yeah. So, as I announced a couple weeks ago on our Twitter, we did take a short break, only a couple weeks this time, and reasoning being, I was kind of trying to be a little funny, I guess, on my the Twitter post, but yeah, we took a break because my second daughter was born a couple weeks ago. So I had to try to, that full-time life aspect was kicking into gear there, so I was trying to stay at home and take care of my wife and my new daughter, and things are going well now with that. So, yes.
Tiny little baby Shawnina.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Yeah. So, we weren't able to bring her back home until like the third. She was born on a Saturday, and we weren't able to bring her back home until the following Thursday because she had low blood sugar, so I had to keep her there for a little while. But I was finally able to get her back home, and she's been doing well ever since. Except the fact that you might hear my laundry in the background is because she had massive puke all over her bouncy chair, so we're currently washing it right now. So that was fun. It happened like an hour ago. Yeah. Oh, my wife was napping, and I was being Mr. Mom taking care of her, and she just all over her chair, and
Nice.
it was pretty.
It's amazing how tiny little babies can just project like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Like I remember burping my son when he was little one time, and I heard it behind me like hit the wall, and I turned and I heard it hit another wall. Like
Kid had some
Yeah.
distance, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Fortunately, she didn't get much distance, but it was enough that it was coming out of her nose.
If you're gonna do it, you might as well go whole hog.
Yeah. So that was that was interesting, but fortunately enough, that's
It's still cool though.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Oh, so, but we should be good to go from now. Oh, so, yeah. Anyways, going right into our water cooler talk. What'd you guys bring to the table? Starting off with Zach this time.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
As you can see in the notes, I actually have an article for once this time. And it's about. I was actually reading about this today at work, and I was like, "Oh man, I should totally talk about this tonight." The ESA, the European Space Agency, has there's this company called Lunatics, and it's like a team of space engineers, and they make like this jumping nanobot that they're proposing that it be like sent to the moon, and then gamers on Earth are going to be able to control them. And you can like jump around the moon and in these like kind of sort of Pokemon Go-esque AR challenges and stuff.
Okay.
And you'd think that I thought there'd be like a huge delay, but like they say the delay is going to be about 3 seconds, which is really not horrible.
Yeah.
So especially because I mean you have a chance to like jump as far as 10 meters because it's the moon.
Yeah.
Which would be kind of cool. So it's kind of like in a conceptual planning stage. So there's not even like it's not even 100% confirmed that it's going to happen, but it's a really cool idea, and it doesn't, according to the article, it doesn't seem like, of course, sending anything into space is expensive, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be like prohibitively expensive to do.
Yeah.
So it would be, I mean, that would be cool. And I know that maybe that's stretching like our definition of games, but I would totally play that game.
Well, still, yeah. jumping robots on the moon.
Literally on the moon, yes.
Yeah, as like anything AR related, I am super jazzed for.
Yeah.
Because the whole like virtual reality is one thing, but like augmented reality, I think is a much cooler idea because it just adds to the world you're already in.
Sure, it
So I think
augments it,
that's a
if
really
you
cool
will.
idea.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. It's cool, and I don't know. I'm not sure what like the whole financial situation is like over for the ESA, but I know for NASA, they're always jonesing for money, and especially under the current administration, I don't know what the budget situation is going to look like. And this is the kind of thing that could help actually generate revenue for
Yeah.
space agencies. So that's cool. I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Be able to, it's like, hey, you want to play this, play our game on literally on the moon,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
just like subscription fee, start making
Yeah.
World of Warcraft revenue off of it.
Yeah, you could, I mean, I that's a seriously ambitious goal right there because that World of Warcraft revenue, tell you what. But hey, man, any amount of revenue, can
Yeah,
help fund future space missions and get into Mars and all that fun stuff. So
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's
That'd be
cool.
really awesome.
That's what I got.
Cool,
Keep your
awesome.
eyes open for it.
All right, how about you, September?
Oh, so I've been riding the Pokemon Go train.
Yep.
Oh
Legendaries are
yeah.
out.
Yeah, I've been hearing about the legendaries coming out and everything, but I still have yet to get it. Like in literally the last like 2 or 3 months, I have yet to get to work properly on my phone.
Yeah,
Oh no.
the latest updates are probably killing your phone now. You're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
need a
Well,
new one,
my
buddy.
phone is also the Samsung POS,
I
so
know. I
I am
know.
not really surprised.
Well, I don't know. It's been working great on my iPhone, and even though there was a couple days ago this big update came out and everybody was crashing, and then the update came and it said fixing this issue where it won't work on an iPhone 6. I'm like, I never had
Wait,
this
what?
issue. Thanks for fixing it.
Yeah, thanks for
But
fixing the issue I never had.
yeah, it's like it wasn't all iPhones. But yeah, it's been really great. It going out in these raids to catch the legendaries has activated like crazy not only my regular team Facebook page, but now there's a page for just raiding in general. And there was kind of like animosity between teams going on,
Oh
um
yeah.
Yeah.
you know for some reason Valor, they're calling it remoting in now. Really, like these spoofers. So but people, and they started a Discord channel, the different channel for each legendary. So people are posting the raids in different places and then meeting up and setting a time and waiting for people. And we've been getting groups so big that we've split into teams, to maximize. You get these special balls when you catch a legendary to help you catch the legendary, because after you beat it
Yeah.
down, you get some attempts to catch it. And like if you get a bonus, you get bonus attempts if you own the gym. If your team has it, you get bonus attempts depending on how much effort each team put forth in that raid. And you can create like a private group now. So we separate into the teams and then make sure everybody has enough on their team to beat it, with maximizing the rewards for each team. And I mean, everybody's been cooperating, and I've met more people than I ever met just walking around, hitting stops before. And it's been really fun and exciting thing to do. Frustrating, not catching it. Oh
I
my
was,
Yeah.
I was
gosh.
gonna say I have a question because I haven't we took Finnegan out to the park like not that long ago, and we were just he was just booted the game up, and I hadn't played it in forever, and he was walking around catching Pokemon and stuff, and I saw there was a raid going on, but he didn't go do it or anything. Have they changed the combat situation in that game at all, or is it the exact same where it's like you swipe left and right to dodge and you just
Tap
tap?
tap 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 swipe.
Tap, 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 hold, tap, tap, hold for your special. Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, the actual fighting itself is the
the
same,
same.
but there are a lot of ways to, I mean, maximize. Oh, it also, when it puts your team, it'll auto-populate a team when you go into a raid.
Yeah, I
And
saw that.
same thing when you're taking gyms now, it'll auto-populate a team. A lot of it is good choices, and it's a good way to learn which Pokemon are better against which Pokemon, although it is still doing some odd things where it will, like if you're going into a legendary raid, it'll put a bunch of your defensive Pokemon as if that's what you're worried about when you need to be
Huh.
doing as much damage as possible to get it down.
Yeah.
So you can still switch out things on your team, but having those suggestions there is really good. And if you're in a hurry to get in, you can just take what they hand you.
It might just not be refined yet, the algorithm that
Yeah.
chooses what your team is. But
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
maybe.
and I mean it's okay where it is though too, because then you can learn. Well, that didn't work very well, and try to figure it out. And somebody else always knows. All these people that do homework on it.
I'm sure.
Which ones are better? I caught Moltres today finally.
Nice.
Oh wow, nice.
That one only took me
Forever.
I did 5 or 6 raids. Articuno took me like 9 attempts.
How long does
wow.
how long does the raid actually take?
Oh, what's the count
Like the
now?
actual battle?
200 and it's like 250 seconds or something. You
That's
get
not
a
too bad.
dial that counts down, and you do have to beat it in that amount of time. It does tell you a suggested number of players to fight it. As
Yeah.
long as you've got people that are around, level 25, 30, you don't really need as many as it tells you to.
Okay.
Some of them you can solo. They're like Magikarp raids. Magikarp is, it's not a legendary, but you have a better chance to get the shiny from the raids than you do catching it in the wild.
Now you can just do it again. Like if you don't catch them the first time, you can just go right into the raid one more time, or do you have to is there like a time limit as to how often you can do it?
Well, what you need, and this is where Niantic is making hand over fist cash right now, is you need a raid pass. And they have premium
yeah, I
raid
did read
passes that
something
are
about that.
purchasable with gold. Of course, you can buy gold with money. You get
Right.
1 free raid pass a day when you go spin a gym.
Okay.
It seems to only work if you don't have any in your bag already. Like
So you can literally do 1 raid for free a day, but if you want to do more, then you have to get a pass.
exactly.
Okay.
Okay. That's not nearly as bad as I was expecting it to be.
And the gold situation changed, and I really like the way it is now too. If anybody would let my team keep gyms,
Yeah, good luck
but when
with
you
that.
and you can't put legendaries in gyms.
Oh, you can't.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
You can
Yeah,
fight with them,
Yeah.
but you cannot put them in gyms. But when you do put Pokemon in gyms, when they sit there, they earn a gold and bring it back to you. So that's a change, and you get more gold depending on how long it sits there, and you can get up to 50 gold a day. Oh, and remote feeding.
What's that?
When you go into a gym now and beat Pokemon, you have to take it down. You take down all of them, like bit by bit. You work at their CP, getting their points down until you beat the gym. And so when you have a Pokemon there, you can remotely check on it, go to the gym, and if its health is down because someone's been beaten on it, you can feed it berries to fill its health back up.
Oh, nice. You can
Try and keep it there to get more
be a
gold.
healer for it. Yeah, that's cool.
And these special golden raspberries that are supposed to very much increase your chances on catches, which I think is a lie. But the golden berries do a full heart fill when you have a Pokemon sitting in the gym. So anyway, yeah, lots of changes, lots of fun, lots of hanging out and meeting people, and I hope it lasts. I hope we start coordinating, more things like gym takeovers moving forward.
I don't see why it wouldn't. I really thought it'd be gone now. I thought by now people would have stopped playing it.
Well, the legendaries brought a lot of people back.
Okay, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean people just were mad they weren't able to get them, and
in
now
the first place, yeah.
And hopefully, things like Mewtwo show up when they're done with these. We don't have any firm announcement on that yet. Moltres is here available through Monday, and then Zapdos will be the next one. Lugia is overlapping. Lugia has been available all through since the event. The event happened, the big battle there, Mystic won, so that's why Articuno was the first legendary to become available.
Oh, yeah.
So Lugia and Articuno were available, and now Articuno is no longer and is Moltres, and then it'll switch to Zapdos. So it kind of also creates that urgency where people are out, and people are collecting them. They're expecting trading to happen. Like there's this guy in town that has like 13 Articunos.
Oh,
Whoa, yeah.
geez.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did read something about how that in it trading is on the horizon now. Like they're actually working on it
Well, I
supposedly.
hope so,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
if they're doing things like stopping making them available all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Like my husband never got Articuno.
Yeah, they'll create a huge demand for that, and
Yeah.
it'll be crazy. That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, been lots of fun.
Cool. Yeah, at some point it'd be nice if I could actually get it to work on my phone. Anyway, so the article I brought
Hey, you know
is,
what? Just hook up with your local Facebook group and go to a raid, because there are people there with two phones in their hands all the time. Maybe somebody
Really?
will just let you play.
Oh, yeah.
Or just give you a phone.
Yeah, that'd be great too. But so the article I brought today is well, last year Overwatch did their very first event, which was the based off the Summer Games. They this year they're going to be doing that again. The Summer Games, even though it's not an Olympic year, they're going to do their own version of the Summer Games again, and it's going to be very similar to what it had last year. It's going to have a bunch of new skins. It's going to have the old ones available again. So if you didn't get the skins from the Summer Games last year, you're going to be able to get them again this year. If you They're making them a little bit more accessible by, if you want to buy them with credits, they're going to be just the regular base prices instead of the normal 3 times the base prices like they have with most events. They're bringing back Lucio Ball, which
Yay!
is just really fun last year to have that.
Well, except my Xbox is dead.
Oh, yeah. Uh, so, but that sucks. But they did make a couple changes to Lucio Ball. You're no longer going to be able to use the sound wave thing to move your enemies. You're just going to be able to use it on the ball itself. Oh, dang it, Zach. No, Lucio Ball, not Lucille Ball.
I got you saying it though.
Yeah, you jerk face.
I heard it too.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, you're not going to be able to move enemies this time around. His ultimate is no longer going to pull the ball to you. Instead, it's going to make you faster, increase the recharge of your own push and everything. And they're actually going to be having a competitive mode of Lucio Ball this year. So you're gonna actually be able to play competitively against other people in this mode, which I think is kind of cool. But it's really, this is beyond just the events itself. This really sets a precedent because it's a repeating event. This is the first time they've repeated an event, and it's the first time that you're going to be able to have access to event exclusive skins. So it has that precedent. So they might be able to, like, for some of the past holiday events, they might be able to redo those, and if you didn't get the skins from those events, might be able to get them again, along with new skins for the New Year's. So I thought that was really cool that they're going to be doing this for a second year, and it's supposed to, as far as I know, it should be starting, I believe, sometime next week. So I thought that was pretty cool that they're going to be repeating the Summer Games despite it not being an Olympic year.
Well, it seemed like it worked from the first time pretty well, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Summer Games last year, in 2016, was their first seasonal event.
Right.
And they've had a lot of success with all of their seasonal events since then. So
Yeah.
it's really good to see them continuing that trend.
Well, it's Blizzard too. I mean, they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
they're gonna
I mean,
they're gonna keep their fans around easily.
yeah,
And even non-fans. They're gonna attract a lot of new people too with every event. That's how it
Yeah.
happens. So
yeah. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing that again. I've been all over the place in the games I've been playing recently. When I do have some game time, it's like
yeah, I hear you.
yeah, it's been a little bit of Overwatch, a lot of Heroes of the Storm. a bunch of Borderlands 2, although I've been cheating up the yin yang for that. Um,
Whoa, cheating in what sense?
I
Are
got
you
a
using
save
like a
editor.
guide or something? Oh, Sean, come on,
Shame,
man.
shame.
It's
Total
like,
shame.
what does it matter? I have the
I
same
guess
problem
it
with
doesn't.
Borderlands as I do
It,
with Diablo. Is just it's like the end game is okay. I get better gear to do what? So
well,
that's yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'll be
So
honest with you, and I know this is not side note here, and this is not a Borderlands like episode. We're not talking about Borderlands, but
yeah.
uh, Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 1, if you're not playing it with other people, you're missing out on like two
Oh yeah.
thirds, maybe even like 90% of the fun.
I
Like
agree. And when I
those
actually
games are
do
so
play
much
with other
more fun.
people, I plan on having a non-edited
Yes,
save. But
yeah,
it's just like if I'm just playing by myself and I just want to like go in and kill stuff, I'm
right.
gonna
I guess that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Like I don't really have a problem with like if you're just doing a single player whatever messing
Yeah.
around, then just go nuts. But
So yeah, that
yeah,
was my point. But
yeah, yeah.
I'll but yeah, that was a side note. Anyway, uh on that note, time for us to get back to work. And as we said last episode, this one is going to be a spoiler episode, so we're going to be spoiling the second episode of the Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale Series. So if you don't want to be spoiled on the story, leave now. Otherwise, if you don't care, keep listening.
Forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
See
So
ya.
yeah. So I think the first episode was, or the first episode of Guardians of the Galaxy, the episode.
Keep
Yeah,
trying.
it was episode 40 that we talked about the first episode of Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale Series. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Okay.
I gotcha.
So that's where it all started. And when we're going through the gameplay for this, it's mostly from the perspective of my personal playthrough. So this isn't going to be a comprehensive analysis of uh, every single tangent in the story. It's specifically going to be from my perspective, but it still gives you an idea of where the story is kind of going. Oh, so just that disclaimer out there. And for people who want to be reminded, obviously this is designed and published by Telltale Games. You can find it for $24.99 on Steam for PC and Mac. So just a reminder about that. But the episode 2 starts off exactly where the first episode stopped. I mean, literally mid-sentence. So the last things you hear in the end of the first episode is, oh, shh. And the first thing you hear in the beginning of the second episode is, it.
That was so funny.
I thought that was hilarious, just right off the bat. But and then like I almost missed the first QuickTime event because it's like it just
Yes, you
starts
did.
right away. And it's like so I almost got hit in the face with a fire hydrant by Gamora.
Gamora. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Oh, hey, I wonder if they'll do that with the next Spider-Man movie.
I don't know.
Do you remember how it ended?
No, I didn't see
No,
it.
I don't remember
Oh,
it.
okay.
I still haven't seen it yet.
Oh, that's right. Now I remember. It's like the half an F bomb at the end of it.
Yeah.
Uh, that was hilarious.
Sorry. Popped into my head. I thought that
Yeah.
would be funny.
Yeah. But yeah, as a quick reminder, the first episode ended with Peter being resurrected by the Attorney Forge. And, it starts this episode, the reaction of everyone of Peter suddenly coming back to life. So that's why
Which is
there's
hilarious.
like Drax is flipping
Drax
out
trying
is
to
like
just like trying to kill him.
yeah, Drax
Right?
is
Calls him
like about to
calls him like a
stab him to
demon or
death.
something. Yeah, yeah.
I love
And then
Drax
he
so
is
much.
like, how do we know it's really you? Like,
Right.
clearly I'm Peter Lord. I mean, Starquill. I mean, just give me a second. But and then the way that the option I chose for his reasoning that it was to prove that it was really Peter Quill is he started dancing. And
That's all you need.
yeah. I thought that was the best option. So I thought that was
is.
funny.
That's the clear choice.
Yeah. But so this takes place right after that. As soon as they're more or less convinced that it's Peter Quill, and they're still under attack from Hala. Oh, so they end up being able to escape Hala. Oh, and but they need to be able to stop and repair the Milano because it's still pretty badly damaged. So they actually go to a planet called Rajak and meet with Yandu. So they introduce Yandu into the
Thank
series in the
thank
second
God.
episode.
Thank
Yeah,
God.
I was wondering when they were going to do that.
Well,
Oh,
in a way, it kind of follows like the movies. I mean, not
Yeah,
story wise, but like
yeah,
Yondu's a much bigger character in Galaxy 2 than he was
yeah,
in the first one. So
yeah.
that's
Oh,
funny,
cool.
and then he looks like the movie character. I was like, oh look,
yeah,
it's Merle.
Yep.
yeah, and,
Yes.
and like they did
Yes.
a really good job with his voice too. It really
Yeah,
does
they
sound
did.
like him too.
Yeah. Well, it's not the same guy, is it? Who's
I
voicing
don't
him
think
for
so.
the game?
I have no idea. I didn't actually look at the credits, but
All right,
yeah,
I'm gonna find out.
yeah. But so you find Yandu so that you can get the Milano repaired. While you're there, uh, Peter has another vision of his mom, but this time something that's kind of unique is Yandu is touching the Eternity Forge at the same time and sees the same vision. Uh, so that's I think that's they did the vision itself doesn't really I don't think it really gives you any real insight other than that Peter knows his stars. That's basically all the information you get out of the vision. But
Yeah.
the fact that Yandu is able to see the vision as well kind of plays a big role later on with between Peter and Rocket. Oh, and it just has that precedent of these visions are able to be shared. Oh, but after the vision, these green glyphs show up on the outside of the Eternity Forge. Gamora is able to recognize them as ancient Kree, and also is able to suggest that Nebula it might be able to translate them to try to figure out more information about the Eternity Forge itself. Oh, but this is where the first major choice comes into play. Rocket takes you outside of Yandu's place and basically asks Peter, just like I want to use the Eternity Forge to bring someone that was important to me from my past. And he even says, like in his dialogue, I know the smart move is to go after Nebula and find out more, but I want to be able to do this while we still have the Eternity Forge and or have the time. And in my playthrough, I agreed with him at first.
Right.
I told him just like sure, finding Nebula is important, but there's not at that point when I made that choice, there wasn't a sense of urgency to find Nebula. There was still enough time to just like, okay, yeah, we can go to the planet Half World and do this thing for Rocket. And I kind of wanted to do something for Rocket anyways because I was kind of jerked to him in the first episode, so I want to kind of
Make
get
up for
back
it.
in his good graces.
Yeah.
So at first I agreed with him. The thing is, once you return back to the Milano and it's getting repaired by Yandu and everything, Gamora finds out that she's able to track down Nebula and finds out that she's about to attack a Nova Corps outpost in order to steal Thanos' body and his ship. And at first, I was still thinking, okay, well, maybe I can still do it with Rocket, but it's like, okay, Nebula is Nebula is probably going to go in there and potentially kill a couple dozen Nova Corps officers. So at that point, I changed my reasoning, and it's like, okay, that gives me a sense of urgency to find Nebula. Not because the biggest problem is this the way that it still reasoned in the game was I was wanting to get Nebula to translate the Eternity Forge, not to prevent her from killing a bunch of people.
Yeah, I have to say I would have stuck with Rocket. I would have done that different. I would have kept my
Yeah.
promise. I mean, and I was being influenced by the movie when I was watching you play because I
Yeah.
mean that's kind of a big. There's actual and emotional deal with Rocket in the movie, and it was
Yeah.
just in my head that like we got to fix him or we're gonna lose him.
I would have
Yeah.
stuck with Rocket, just even not withstanding the promise, just because I'm so interested in like his backstory and what's
Yeah.
going on there.
Well,
So,
you still
like,
do still do see his backstory, but it
oh
plays
yeah, I
out a
know.
little
But
bit
at the
differently.
time,
Yeah.
like you might not have known. Oh, am I
Yeah.
gonna miss out on this content?
Yeah, Sean's doing the needs of the many.
Right,
Yeah.
right. No,
Yeah.
I get your reasoning. It made sense. It's just
Yeah.
I would have
And
been like, oh, Rocket. Click.
yeah. And the
I
the
love
thing that
Rocket.
yeah, the thing that interested me is, of course, at the end of the episode, it shows you like where your choices stand
Uh-huh.
in the compared to everyone else. And this was actually the only choice that was I was in the minority.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, everybody likes Rocket, man.
yeah, a vast majority of people chose to help Rocket first.
Yeah.
Oh, but again, the reasoning in the game is not the same reasoning that I had for why I went
Right.
after Nebula. But I chose to go after Nebula first, in order to prevent her from killing a bunch of Nova Corps people. But the game didn't recognize that, so whatever. Oh, but by making that choice, Rocket ends up stealing Yondu's ship, goes to Half-World himself, and he actually takes the Eternity Forge with him. Oh,
And speaking of Yondu,
yeah,
I
he's
did
just stuck
find
on your
that
ship.
he was not the voice actor, the actor from the movie and The Walking
It's
Dead
not right.
is not the voice actor for the
Mark
game.
Markle, right?
However, the same actor did do voices in the Walking Dead game.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And the back,
Interesting coincidence.
those are Telltale games. He's just a Telltale voice actor. I mean, he
Yeah.
did stuff for Back to the Future
Yeah.
Telltale game as well.
But yeah, specifically him. So yeah, he was, honestly, I gotta say, he was a really good voice actor. You can almost, if you
Yeah.
didn't know, you'd think it was the real
He
actor.
did sound really spot on. Yeah.
But yeah, Half World. Rocket leaves for Half World on his own. Takes the Eternity Forge with him. Uh, in my game, I continue to onto the Nova Corps outpost, capture Nebula. Honestly, the whole capturing Nebula thing, it was just a bunch of quick time events, and that was it. There wasn't really any sort of like story elements or anything.
It was
Uh,
action.
yeah, it was all action.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
trying to convince the Nova Corps, like, hey, we need Nebula alive, and they're just like, no, we have to kill her. We have our orders. It's like, okay, I'm going to stun you and take her. So, and you like cut off her cybernetic arm in the process, and yeah. So other than the quick time events, the whole capturing Nebula was kind of uneventful. But after that, locking her in Gamora's room. After that, you go to Half World and meet back up with Rocket, who is currently shoving stones off of a makeshift shallow grave. And in my game, I'm trying to console him, just like, I'm sorry, we had to go get Nebula first. Again, because she was threatening to kill a bunch of people, not because of the freaking Eternity Forge. But anyway, uh, but you end up both touching the Eternity Forge at the same time, and it shows you one of Rocket's most defining memories, and what's been really a driving force for him, at least, especially with the Eternity Forge. But you find out much greater after that. You get this memory of him, on a lab, or in a lab on Half World, and it's basically the lab that he was created in. And you find out that he was not the only subject. He was considered the only successful subject, but he was not the first. One of the subjects before him was, I think she was like a ferret or something
She's
like
an
that.
otter.
An otter?
Otter,
Yeah.
yeah.
Otter.
Okay. Ferrets, otter, they're basically the same thing, just one likes water. Anyway.
Otters are a
Otters are
lot
way
bigger than
cuter.
ferrets.
Oh, that's true too. Anyway. It shows you how good I am with the animal kingdom. But, she's an otter.
No wonder you
that-
didn't help Rocket.
He's a badger, right?
Yeah, that's right. Trash panda.
Trash panda.
Trash panda.
Trash Panda, yeah, that's right.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
Rocket Trash Panda. But so, and you find out that Rocket is in love with this otter named Layla. Or Lila, sorry.
Lila, yeah.
Yeah. And Lila and Rocket have been trying to slowly get whatever parts they can so they can create a computer so that they can hack their way out of their cages and be able to escape this lab. And they're finally got all the pieces they need. But they find out also that the scientist who's been working on them is deeming Lila as a failed
Failure.
experiment and is going to give her lethal injection. So they come in to her cage, take her out. Rocket's able to escape his cage and gets to her, and they both start escaping, but it's already too late. She's already been injected with the whatever substance it is that's meant to kill her, but it's killing her slowly. That's not a rapid thing. So Lila, dang it. I don't know why I'm saying Layla all the time. Anyways, Lila is able to like hack the consoles and everything, is able to create a distraction, keep the scientists from getting to them. And this is where the next major choice comes into play. Rocket has the option to either leave Lila there. Why am I saying Layla? Dang it.
She got you on your knees, Layla.
That's not even, like, I don't even remember that song. But anyways, Lila is trying to convince him to just leave. She's already dying, just save yourself type of thing. So you have the option of either leaving her there, obeying her wish and just escaping, or carrying her out of there. And I think you're still able to get out regardless, because I chose to carry her out and still escaped. So I'm not entirely sure like which one's the right choice or what, but you're still able to get out of there. And so
I don't know that there is a right choice for that.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah.
But a couple things that I found interesting is they had another thing with Telltale games is up in the corner they'll show like such and such will remember this.
How they react to your choices.
Yeah. And there were a couple times where it said Lila will remember this, which conveys to me that she might end up being resurrected later on the game in a later episode. That she might actually still come up. Oh, but
Well, I don't know how you were supposed to have found out or knew where her grave was if you didn't carry her out.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like I don't know, like how exactly would she have been buried outside if you didn't carry her? But it's like I don't know. I didn't see what the other option was. So
Right.
But yeah, I carried her out, and they, Rocket and Lila had a moment. Lila had seen the sky and the trees and stuff for the first time, and then peacefully died. And one thing that I thought was very poignant was like I just mentioned, they have the such and such will remember this. For this one, they specifically made it different. It was Rocket will never forget this. So
Yeah.
kind of nailing home that this is like a defining moment for Rocket. I thought that was a nice little subtle way to point that out, having it be the same kind of graphic or whatever come up, but have it Rocket will never forget this.
Yeah, the never was just like spine chilling.
Yeah. And again, like I think I even mentioned that in the video that I posted last week. That's a very poignant, a very simple but poignant way of doing that, and I thought that was actually really cool how they did that. So that's Rocket's memory of Lila. And basically after that, I decided to help him, cover the grave back up because the Eternity Forge didn't work to resurrect her. You find out later, why. But both come back onto the Milano, and it is time to interrogate Nebula. So you have a couple options how you can do it. And, I decided to try to sweet talk her, which still seemed to work. You could try to be threatening, or you can try to leverage, the fact that you have her cybernetic arm. Uh, you could try to barter with that, but I just ended up sweet talking her, and
Sure.
How
eventually,
come you didn't get a chance to you should have had a choice to beat her with her own arm.
no, although there,
Of course.
like when they brought her on the ship and locked her in Gamora's room, there was a very funny moment where Peter was trying to give Gamora a high five, and I don't know if it's either she was just ticked off or she didn't understand what it meant, but he gave himself a high five with Nebula's arm. So I thought that was amusing. But yeah, so eventually, whatever method you choose, I'm sure, you're able to convince Nebula to translate the glyphs, although she does it in not necessarily a traditional way. She pulls this module out of her skull, which is kind of gross at times when you think about it, but it's a cipher module. It's able to translate the glyphs for you and everything. So you're able to download that, put it into your own translator, and basically all it says is on the glyphs, I believe, was find me in the temple. And so everyone's like, well, we found the thing in a temple, maybe we should check back there and see if there's what we can find there. So you end up going back to the temple. Before you go back in there, though, the next major choice is who to have guard Nebula. You can either choose to have Drax guard Nebula or have Gamora guard Nebula. And I ended up choosing Gamora because the reasoning was you need some time to try to hash out all of this stuff between you, so you're not literally about to kill each other at any given moment.
Sure. Try to mend bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest problem is the choices I've made have been making Drax feel useless because he's already accomplished his goal. His whole lifelong goal after his family was killed was to kill Thanos. Well, he's done that now, and it's like he feels like he has no purpose now. So he's kind of lamenting that now. So I'm wondering where that's going to go. But so
yeah, he was really bent out of shape for somebody who's not emotional very often.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see where that goes, because it just feels like almost every choice I make seems to be in favor of Gamora, and that's not even on purpose. It's just she has the best ideas. She's like the one that's the most level-headed and actually has intelligent ideas to contribute to our missions.
Well, Peter's hot for her too.
Right.
The thing is, I'm not even factoring that in. But yeah,
not consciously.
Yeah, but so you investigate the temple. Eventually, you find this mural behind where the Eternity Forge was. That you touch one of the buttons on the mural and it opens up this pedestal. You put the Eternity Forge on the pedestal and it shows basically the next step, which is this whatever location called Emnios. So you figure out that the next place you need to go is Emnios. That's where you have to find whoever this entity is who's been giving you these visions and such. So get back on the ship, and actually just before you get back onto the ship, Gamora gets you on the communicator and says Rocket is using very creative curse words because you briefly see when he comes back on the ship after Half-World that the computer that he has in his arm is broken. And that's the computer that him and Lila made while they were on Half-World when they escaped. So it's got a lot of...
leads to the choice that you took in order to try and mend bridges with Rocket.
Yeah.
I saw.
Yeah. Rocket has this emotional breakdown because he's trying to fix this computer and he can't fix it. And that he basically to him, this wrist computer is Lila. That's the last thing he has of hers. and it has this deep sentimental value to him. So the fourth major choice you make in the game is whether to tell him to keep it or to get rid of it, to move on. And I chose to tell him, keep it. This is your memory of Lila, and remembering those who have passed is never a bad thing. When it consumes your life is when it becomes a bad thing, but just holding on to the memory is always good. So that's why I told him to keep the computer, even if he can't fix it. Immediately after that, though, the Milano is attacked by the Kree, by Hala's forces. And this is where the last choice comes into play, is during this last fight against these Kree soldiers. And that's whether or not to let Nebula help you in this fight. And I decided, yes, I'm going to, I was able to sweet talk her. I'm on somewhat less than terrible terms with her now, since I'm not saying good terms, but she might not immediately try to kill me. So
it'll be a long and drawn out process.
Yeah. Right. So I decided to let her help in the fight. And I like the fact that even if you do that response, Peter is like, and just a reminder, if you try to kill any of us, if you try to even harm any of us, this little trust exercise is going to end.
Right.
So, and Nebula is literally, to a degree, disarmed. Pun absolutely intended. Horribly, but intended nonetheless. So, yeah, eventually you're able to fend off the Kree attack. You leave a trail of them through space, and apparently they're able to just survive in the vacuum of space, which is okay, I guess. And after that, you travel to Emnios, and basically the last thing you see before the episode ends, of course, leaves on a big cliffhanger. They go into this, what looks kind of like a temple in this asteroid, and they walk into this really brilliantly lighted room, and they're looking at someone. You can't see what they see, and that's basically where it ends. So again, leaving on a cliffhanger for the next episode. But that's basically the gist of at least my playthrough. Again, this isn't an exhaustive explanation of all the events and everything, because I haven't gone through them. But I do like the fact that already in the second episode, some of the choices that you made in the first episode are becoming apparent. Like with where Nebula is attacking. Like, obviously, if you went and gave Thanos' body to the Collector, she's going to be trying to get it from him rather than the Nova Corps. Right. And actually, I realize now, if I had given Thanos' body to the Collector, I probably would have sided with going with Rocket first.
Yep.
Because I don't give a flying crap about the Collector. If he gets killed, all the better. Like, the Nova Corps, on the other hand, I want most of them to actually live, because they're trying to actually protect people. So, but I think that's cool how those choices are already starting to crop up, and I'm just eager to see just how divergent the games go the further you go in.
I'm just wondering how far they're going to take the story.
Well, this is episode 2 of 5. So
Right, I know, but I'm like, what I'm wondering is, like, how deep and how far is the actual plot of this whole series going to go? Because there's clearly story already from the movies, and it ties in some ways.
Not necessarily. Like, the story in the game is still very different from the movies. It's basically, the games are just taking the characters and kind of the background of them and creating their own story. Because you can't fit this into the movie universe. The
current movie universe. There's no way to do it. I guess because Thanos isn't dead.
Yeah, because Thanos isn't dead in the movie universe. Yondu's spoiler for
Yondu
people who
is
haven't seen the movie,
right.
Yondu's dead. He
right.
dies in the movie. Stuff like that. Groot is baby Groot in the second movie. So it's like, and the first one is how they became the Guardians of the Galaxy in the first place. So that you can't
Sure.
fit it into the current MCU. So it is a completely different story, different timeline, and all that jazz.
Unless Yondu is brought back to life by something, and this all takes place after Infinity War, and they don't end up killing Thanos in the Infinity War movie,
And,
right?
you're looking way
Maybe?
too much into this.
You're damn right.
but but yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, just how all the changes, you can start to see the changes happening already just from the different choices you make. Um,
The effect of your choices, yeah.
yeah,
That's cool. Yeah, I like that
um,
whole trickle down effect. That's neat.
yeah, because like I said, just where you give Thanos his body, where who gets this body, makes a difference in this story to a degree.
Uh-huh.
So, and it's just going to be compounding from there. Oh, but I do like to see how they've delved into like the background of, it looks like from what I can see from some of the descriptions of the following episodes, they're each going to kind of focus a little bit on a certain character. Like this one, you really delved into the
This
past
is
of
Rocket.
Rocket. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the next one, it looks like you're going to be delving more into the past of Gamora. Oh, and from what I saw, it looks like in the fourth episode, it's going to be mostly Drax, and the last one, they might be doing a little bit of Groot and just kind of tying everything up. But
Sure.
I like how they're exploring the characters' backgrounds as well. Um, but what kind of changes would you guys have made to the choices I made? Like we already voiced the one about siding with Rocket, but what about the other four choices?
I
Well, I
regarding
wouldn't have been going through Gamora's stuff in her room like you were.
I forgot about that. It's like, yeah, I told you not to touch that, and I try to touch it again, and she immediately kicks me out of her room.
Yeah,
Um,
like, dude, really?
All things considered,
Actually, going through her stuff would be bad enough if she wasn't there. You're just gonna do it right in front of her. Of
Yep.
course, she's gonna get pissed.
yeah, but yeah,
it's a very Peter Quill thing to do.
which is exactly why I did it.
Yeah, yeah. I probably would not have. I probably would have had Drax guard Nebula. As
Yeah.
much as I like Drax, and I would like having him with me. He's like one of my favorite Guardians. I I would definitely at this point, had I made the choices that you made in the first game, I would want my relationship with him. Like I'd want him to feel useful. I would not
Yeah.
want him to feel like doesn't have something to do. So I probably would have had him guard Nebula.
Yeah,
If
and that's
that is indeed him feeling more useful than him going with you, which is I thought that was kind of
Yeah.
weird because it's like isn't actually traveling with you to the temple more useful than just guarding Nebula? But maybe he didn't see it that way.
yeah, theoretically. Well, I think
yeah,
it
I
was,
thought it was weird for Drax to react that way too. I mean, it was perfectly reasonable if he
Right.
would actually kill her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would
yeah,
have
yeah.
the same choice there.
yeah. What about keeping or discarding Lila's computer?
Initially, when I first saw that choice pop up, I was like, well, he should tell her he should let it go because he needs to heal. But after you broke it down, and it's like, it's not bad unless you really obsess over it. Then I don't know. I'd have to actually come to that point in the gameplay and see where my relationship with Rocket was at that point before I made that choice.
Yeah,
I think if I had done what you did and estranged him, so I probably would have made the same choice you did.
yeah,
I might have handled Nova Corps differently too.
yeah. Well, would you guys have from the first game? Would you guys have even given the body to Nova Corps?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I would not have given the body to Nova Corps.
Yeah, I recall that actually would put you guys in the minority. A majority of people, I believe,
Gave it to the Nova Corps.
yeah,
I mean, are your only choices? I don't remember.
It's
Nova Corps or the Collector?
right?
yeah. The two choices
Yeah, I would-
for Thanos' body is the Nova Corps or the Collectors or the
Oh, I
Collector.
would have given it to the Collector all day. All day.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that would be a more interesting story.
Right.
yeah. And like I said, by changing that, it would have changed this, at least the location and like the circumstance of Nebula's trying to get the body back. So I don't know, it'd be interesting to go through it again and see, like, try to make different choices. But
Right.
But yeah, for these 5 choices, like I said, the only one actually that I made that was in the minority was the one with Rocket. All the other choices I made were in the majority. So I decided to carry Lila out of the lab, have Gamora guard Nebula, keep Lila's computer, and let Nebula fight.
How was that in your first game?
What's that?
What, like, were you in majority choices with the first game? I can't remember.
Oh,
How did you?
I think
match
again
up?
4 of the 5 I was in the majority. I think the only one in the first episode, the only one that I was in the minority was making the promise to Peter's mom. I chose not to make that promise.
Okay.
So I think that was the only one I was in the minority. All the rest of them I was in the majority. So, but yeah, it's still just interesting to see where this is going to diverge and go from there. So yeah, that's
When
pretty
does
much
the next one come
rundown.
out?
They don't have a definite date, I think, on any of them. It's just when it's ready. But it was, I think, a month or two between the first and the second episode. So it's probably going to come out sometime next month, or later this month. I keep on forgetting it's
Cool.
beginning of August now.
But yeah.
So, but yeah, when the next episode comes out, we'll probably do keep on going with this series. It's starting to heat up a little bit, which is nice. The first episode didn't seem to be really out there, but now again with the choices, creating more tangents, it's going to be more interesting. So, anything else you guys wanted to add?
Nope.
That pretty
Cool.
much covered it, man.
Yeah. All right. End of spoilers. You can come back now, and it's time for this.
Yay.
So, time for our employee assessment, and this one we're going to be doing a little bit differently. This time, you guys are actually going to be competing against each other. You're not going to be agreeing on an answer. This isn't multiple choice. What I'm going to do is all of the answers are a number. One of you is going to get asked the question and has to guess a number. If you get the answer correct, you get a point. If you get it incorrect, the other person gets to guess whether the real answer is higher or lower than the answer you gave. If they're correct, they get the point. So, and whoever gets the most points, I don't know, gets to be not terrible.
Wins the internet.
Yeah, wins the internet for the day. And I'm not gonna. For all of these answers, I'm gonna give you a range of 10. So it's not going to be completely out of left field what the answer is. You're going to get, it's just going to be, between, these 10s or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I haven't decided who's going to go first, so try to get the sound effect as good as I can. Oh, it's on the floor. Dang it, where was it?
Good one.
There's a 1. So we're going to go, first question's going to Zach.
Okay.
Ugh.
I'm ready.
Picking up my dice. Oh, all right.
I have to be 1, dude. You have low faith.
Well,
in me.
I was rolling a d4 and you were 1 or 2, and
I see how you
September
do it.
was 3 and 4.
I think it's percentile. Okay, go ahead.
I don't have my percentile
kidding.
available right now. I just have a d4 out. Anyway, question number 1. Inside of Gamora's room, she keeps a collection of knives on display. How many
Jesus.
knives are there? And the range
sake.
is between 1 and 10.
7.
All right. That is incorrect. September is the correct answer, higher or lower than 7.
Oh, I'm trying to call the visual in my head. Oh, because I was going to say 7.
7's a good number.
Higher.
Is incorrect. It's only 5.
Ha
All right, so nobody gets a point for that one. And question number 2 is going to September. A Nova Corps officer named Rooks has a potentially unhealthy man crush on Peter Quill. He sent Peter a message that had his private quote-unquote email account, and I didn't know what else to call it, so it's just an email account. What is the number he used at the end of his account name? And the range is the 40s. So between 40 and 49.
42.
Is incorrect. Zach, is the correct answer higher or lower than 42?
It's higher.
That is right. It is his account name is was it Quill Thrill 44.
Excellent.
So
I should have guessed in the middle just to throw you off, and I couldn't
So
resist
excellent.
the opportunity to use 42.
yeah.
Meaning of life.
All right, so Zach gets the first point.
Hey, I feel like that the number 42 in the meaning of life actually came up in our last Guardians of the Galaxy.
I think that
I think it
came
did.
up in one of the questions, but I still think it was incorrect.
Crazy. Okay. Cool.
All right, question number 3 is going back to Zach. During Rocket's memory, we see him and Lila imprisoned in a lab on Half-World, where they were both experimented on. Why can I not read my own stuff?
I don't know.
I actually am incredibly hungry right now, so
Okay.
as soon as we stop recording, I'm gonna put a handful of Cheez-Its directly into my mouth.
Hunger does make it hard to read.
Yes. Anyways, both of them wore vests with a designation sequence on it. It was a 2-digit number, 1 letter, and then another 2-digit number on it. What was the first 2-digit number on their designations? And the range is the 80s. So it's between 80 and 89.
85.
Incorrect. September is the correct answer, higher or lower than, what did you say, 85?
85.
I already forgot. Yeah. Is it higher or lower than 85?
Higher.
That's correct. It is 89. Rocket's specifically was 89P15. Lila's was 89P14. All right, so we're tied up. So this is
Damn.
the tiebreaker
Damn.
right here, and
I
it
hope,
is
I hope
going
we don't
to
get anything.
just leave it a tie.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Oh, and this one is going to September. During the Kree attack on the Milano, Peter listens to a song called "This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us" by the Sparks. What year was the song originally released?
Oh
And
my God.
the answer is in the 1970s.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
77.
Is incorrect. Zach, is the correct answer earlier or later than 77?
Earlier.
That is
Yes!
correct. It is
Ah.
1974.
Oh,
Oh, so Zach edged out 2-1. Nice job.
it was a guess.
Yay.
It was a guess.
Oh, yeah.
It was all guesses.
Yeah. That's
No,
why
Well, I
I
was
was.
being nice. I could have said 75, and because you know.
That's why I kept saying don't do it, because I thought you were gonna say 75, and then I was gonna be like, ah, crap.
No, I was trying to be legit, and I was thinking about it, and I was like,
Yeah.
well, most of the songs Peter was after, mid
They're
to late
closer-
70s,
they're closer to
as
the
I
80s
recall.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Great job. I actually like doing it that way too. It gives you a little bit of leeway on the answers. But yeah. All right. And with that brings us to the end of our show today. Everyone, thank you for joining us. And if you find value in our show and would like to support us, you can at patreon.com/parttimegamers. We're actually in the process of doing a little bit of work on our Patreon as well. So we'll have some levels and new goals and everything like that. Try to get those hashed out as much as we can. But yeah, you can also help us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, where we have all of our, I think from episode 25 on, up there on our YouTube, as well as our part-time gaming segments. And you can also help us by giving us a 5-star review on iTunes. And if you'd like to contact us, you can with our email, parttimegamers.cast@gmail.com, or on Twitter at PTGcast. You can find me on Twitter at Cyrenex or on BlizzardNet, whatever we're deciding to call it now, which I'm just going to stick with BlizzardNet, because why not? With the battle tag Cyrenex number 1996. You can find the show and the rest of my work at caffeineinducedproductions.com. And where can people find you on the internet?
I can be found at 9 of 12 on Twitter and Twitch. My BlizzardNet is 9 of 12, number 1102. And you can hear me on the Geek Grills podcast at geekgrills.com.
Awesome. And you, Zach?
You can find me on BlizzardNet with the battle tag Zachaleth number 1466. That's with an X.
Yep. All right, everyone. Until next time, we are the Part-Time Gamers, clocking out.